Ciao Tesla people, I'm at the Supercharger in Florence. We'll do Supercharger Talk number 51 this time. Let me open the port and let's start charging. Was supposed to be 4 people, instead there are only 2, with 3 including me. So let's connect here. So it's supposed to rain a lot. Black clouds around, you see? Up here, not yet. So we'll see. I'm at 33%. We'll charge it to 80 or 85. Since I'm doing some road trips in the coming days. And I wanted to charge. So, I didn't prepare much about the Supercharger Talk number 51, but I have some news in the Tesla world. First one, there are 2 Tesla updates going out. So right now I am on software, let me check, 2025.2.8. There should be a 2025.2.9 out, and probably just bug fixes and stuff. And then there is a new one, and it's actually 2 new ones, 2025.8.3 and 8.4. They introduce a few new things. So it's going to be interesting to see what they are. Actually, let me check .4 here. I have it. So there are minor updates, mostly in the energy. For example, the energy consumption. You'll get a longer trips in kilometers or miles to do the statistics of the consumption, and it says between 150 and 300 kilometers or energy usage and consumption page. And then the first row cabin sensing system has been updated with the cabin radar, which is up here. Then there is your battery energy estimate now counts for your vehicle usage characteristics and will adjust over time based on your history. The total available battery energy remains unchanged. This is basically, most likely they are updating the algorithm to see how you drive and your behavior, driving behavior, so that they can have a better estimate of your battery percentage. That's why, for example, most people use the percentage and not the kilometers or miles, because it has a more accurate estimate of how much energy you have in your battery. So do that. Don't look at the miles or kilometers, but look at the percentage. In the meantime, I'm charging 138, which is good. These stalls are only 150 kilowatts. Oh, now something cool is coming. You can now run a battery health test to measure your battery energy retention compared to when it was new. But if you want to run this battery test, you need to leave your car charging at AC for very long hours. But you get an instant battery health information. Is in control service. Of course, I don't have it because I don't have that. So in the service, you'll get information here. For example, last time it was a change of camera visibility. If there are any issue, you get an image here. So now you'll get a notification for battery health, which is good. And then it has security stuff. Then there is a Bluetooth player. So if you go to the Bluetooth, now you have all this information about your phones and stuff, but you get even information about which apps are connected via Bluetooth, could be connected via Bluetooth. You get more information about the odometer here, So for example, right now I have this stats. You get, for example, a decimal point after the watt hour. So right now is an whole number. So you get a 161 point something, okay? Yeah. So there are a bunch of changes coming in the 2025.8.4, which is pretty good. So these are all the changes that are in the Tesla updates. Now, another news for Cybertruck. There is a hardware recall for all Cybertrucks until a certain date. And that's because a piece here in the pillar, which is a big long piece, was detaching. It looks like that the glue that Tesla used to attach those stainless steel panels did not last too long, and so they were detaching. So they have to change a bunch of Cybertruck's panels, and estimate I think was 50,000 Cybertruck, but that's not an official number, and that's bad. Even because if you lose one of those panels when you're driving, it could be dangerous. So hopefully they'll fix it soon. Okay, for anyone that has a Cybertruck. The other news was that FSD is out in China. There are a bunch of videos coming out of China, and looks like the Chinese are pretty happy with it. They did some tests to see if FSD works pretty well. It looks like it does. Also, there are some divergent or controversial news about sales for Tesla. So here in Europe, they had a big drop of sales, while the EV market was increasing by 30%, 35%, something like that. But also, since they had a change between the old Model Y and new Model Y, so which in Europe here is made in Berlin. Model 3 actually they come from China to Europe. So there was this switch, let's say, from production. So the numbers went down, and now there is also the controversy with Elon Musk, his involvement in politics in the US. So there is a mix of situation on the sales of Tesla, boycotting. There are some incidents, like people putting on fire cars, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand. You want to protest the guy, do it against him, but not against the other people. Because at that point you can start to protest about anything. If you talk about electronics or cars and stuff, there are lots of things that you have to complain about it. So this quarter there is this switch between production, the old and new Model Y. Actually, the old Model Y they have a huge discounts. So if you want to buy a Model Y, you want to get the old one with a big discount, use my Tesla referral, you get another 500 euros discount. And in US, I think it's 1,000. So check out my Tesla referral. That's because they're switching to the new one. All production now is on the new Model Y, Juniper. By the way, I'm going to test it soon. I need just figure out when is a good day to do the test drive. And what else? That's it. I think this is most of the news that are coming out. There are a bunch of videos of people getting the new Model Y, which is very interesting. They're coming out with tests. For example, so right now the long range I think is out. Let me check actually the browser. Let's go to Tesla. Let's go full screen here. Okay. So actually, let's go to Italy. So it's slash IT, I think. So I can do a test drive, okay? If I want to order one, so I can see the different trims available. Model Y performance is not out yet. So if I want to buy it, so you can order actually the real wheel drive. Then there is the long range with the real wheel drive, and then the long range with the four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the price goes from 44 to 52. My guess the performance should be below 60,000, and that's even because they did the launch edition, which was more than 60, I think 62 or 63,000 euros in this case. We'll see how it goes. So the issue is that people are starting to do some videos about this long range, and the efficiency that Tesla mentioned be to 4 or 5% increase in kilometers and better consumption. Looks like it's not there completely. I saw at least 3 or 4 videos doing different tests, highway tests and all that stuff, and they were pretty good tests. And looks like the older version of Model Y was beating the new one. Now, we don't know yet, for example, what's the size of the battery, the details of the battery, and if there are any tricks that Tesla put in the software so that they can get out more energy or whatever, or they last longer. So we don't know about that. But the other thing is that, so they didn't improve a lot in the consumption. They improved a bit in the, actually no, they didn't, they said they improve a bit on the consumption, so there should be more kilometers or more miles per charge. But I saw some other tests on charging, in particular one test from a YouTuber, and looks like that the charging speed wasn't that great, and that's because it wasn't faster. But he mentioned that since we don't know the details about the battery, so we cannot confirm that's the case. So we'll see how it goes in time. If there are any other tests, I'm sure there will. People are looking to test everything about this car. So other people are coming, which is pretty good. A nice Tesla here. So one thing that should be here I have the tire pressure. This one car that was mentioning, there was a new 44 all the way, should be 42, front and tire and rear. Anyway, so this is all the news that I have for now. I'm finishing my charge in 50 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. So I was 33, so I didn't charge super fast. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. So done charging. Spent 19.44 euros, about 42 kilowatts hour, but the Tesla sign for 39 kilowatt hour. That means you lose a bit of kilowatts when you charge. That's because heat and dissipations and losses of energy. That's normal. Let's see if, yeah, I didn't get the notification here on the screen. You should get a card that you, like a summary type of thing. I didn't get it yet. Probably it's in next release. Anyway, going home now. If you buy a Tesla, please use my Tesla referral. It's in the description. And please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, share it, and I'll see you on next video. Ciao Tesla people.